Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. All right, so those of you who were watching me last stream know that I've been working on trying to get digitized sound or direct audio, I don't know what you want to call it, working in Vectrexy. Basically, rather than getting the audio coming out of the PSG, the programmable sound generator, it's the sound that would be sent directly to the speaker effectively, but from the CPU. So we made some good progress. Hey, how's it going, Pyro? Glad to see you on stream. I know you probably won't be sticking around long based on what you told me earlier, but it's nice to see you here. So one change I made, by the way, so somebody on my stream mentioned last time that I should look into the latency reduction mode in Twitch. I've enabled it, so that means that I should be able to respond much more quickly to when you guys post to me instead of having this long delay. The only downside is potentially for some people who want to view at a high quality, if their bandwidth can't support it, they may get more buffering, and they may need to drop the quality of the stream. So if that's an issue for some of you, let me know, because I mean I don't really mind going back. I don't think it's a huge deal, the delay. It hasn't really been a problem, but if no one complains, I'll leave it like this. But I can definitely see the difference, because I can see on my Twitch dashboard, I can see the preview of what actually is being streamed live, and I can see that I'm only a few seconds, like it's only a few seconds behind. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I thought a little bit about the problems that I've been having, and basically what it is that for the PSG, I know exactly the rate at which the PSG can produce samples, and so I can do this thing where the PSG is the one that decides when to like push a sample onto the queue and send it. But the problem for this direct audio mode is that I can't really know. It's not something that's in a continuous mode. It's not reliably on a timer. The fact is that programs like games can just decide to send samples at whatever sampling rate they like, right? It's really up to them. And there's no way for me to do it in the kind of forward direction, which is what I've been trying to do, and it's not working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna flip it around. And basically what I'm gonna do is I set a sampling rate, like a target sampling rate for my audio driver. So for example, 44,100 hertz. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip the other way around and say, like, when I need a sample, when I'm going to basically ask, do you need a sample now? And at that moment, I'll sample my current state. Now for the PSG, that just means asking the PSG, what's the sample you have for me right now? But if the PSG is disabled, then I'll just take whatever last value was ever written to the like I'll just cache, and whatever last direct sound sample that I have, that's the one I'm going to use. And I think that should be okay, because my target sampling rate is a lot faster than the source sampling rate, so it should work out. So I think it's not going to be a lot of code changes, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to try and do right now, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so to do this, I'm gonna have to change a little bit my code. So I'm gonna start over here in the Vias update, because this is pretty much where we do our audio update. And I'm gonna say, let's have CPU cycles here, PSG update. So I'm gonna start with a PSG update like that, but I will not pass it my audio context. So I'm going to be removing this audio context from it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to remove it. Okay. Let me see how this proceeds. Okay, so what that means is this code here won't be here anymore. I'm going to change the is enabled here. No, okay, actually I'm going to leave it alone. Or maybe I'll rename it to like is producing sound or something. I think that makes a bit more sense for what I want it to mean. Okay, and over here, okay, actually before that, let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna hack something together and we're gonna fix it afterwards. I think I would have done it differently. I would try to add samples to your buffer from the DAC to generate 44.1K buffer. Well, that's actually what I was trying to do, Pyro, before. It's actually not completely trivial trying to do that. Because, what can I say? Because I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, a value gets written from the CPU into my thing at some time that I don't know, and then some unknown amount of time passes before the next sample and the next sample. And it's just because I don't have this kind of easy constant rate. I thought about that, like maybe store a buffer. One thing I thought about is like store, let's say, a vector in which I accumulate every time I get one of these samples and a timestamp, and then use that information, like process this buffer, this window of not window, but basically this buffer of samples and times, and like kind of figure out like, oh, you know, if enough time has elapsed. So that's sort of like kind of simulating what I've been doing in the PSG, except with a variable amount of time and doing that. But I would like to see if I just flip it around. I think it'll be simpler. And I actually think we're going to get pretty good quality out of it. Like, I could be wrong, so I'll give this a whirl. If this doesn't work, I can try, you know, what I think is the more complicated method, but may produce better quality audio. So we'll take a look at that. But I hear what you're trying to say. Where's my engine client? Oh yeah. So you don't have to change the sample rate, but you fill the buffer to make it work with 44.1. Yeah, I think that's basically what I was saying. I mean, unless I misunderstand what you're saying, but yeah, that would be another approach. Kind of like fill in a buffer of these, let's say, direct audio samples, but I would need to have timestamps because I would need to figure out, you know, what is the actual sampling rate of the, like, what's the source sampling rate? You know what I mean? So that I can say, like, oh, I need to produce a target audio sample at the target audio. So to resample, I need both. For the PSG, it's easy. I know exactly the source sampling rate. It's fixed. Right. Okay. So I think we're on the same page. That's cool. Okay. So need a sample. So then here we say okay, I'm gonna have to undo this here. So I am gonna be getting just, at this point I'm only gonna sample at this moment, which is gonna be a bit different than what I was doing before. And if we find that the quality isn't good enough, I'm gonna come back here and then do the sample accumulation that I was doing. And in here, I'm just gonna return the averaged value or something. But for now, just to keep things really simple, I'm just gonna do this sample channels and mix thing here. Oh, because of the const. Why is this not const? Is it changing anything? Yeah, this doesn't really change anything. This could totally be const. Let me see. I find out that I need to change more stuff. And then the sample channel. Whoops. Right. Gotta constify the world. Same thing with this. That's right. Exactly right, Pyro. Exactly. I'm just going to be polling. Like, I need a sample now. Just grab the, you know, the latest sample from either the PSG or the DAC, as you say. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Now, if I did this right, this is, I think this is it. So let's take a look. Turn off my music because we want to hear our Vectrex emulator. Okay, we got that. So far, so good. Okay, interesting. Looking if I missed anything here. That should be right. Too good to be true, eh? Let me open up Audacity just to look at the actual signal to see if there's whatever. See if there's actual values in there. Okay, that looks like zeros. Fascinating. Okay, that's when it's completely disabled. I should probably not return 0. I should put 0.5 in that buffer. And let's see here. Yeah, there's something in there. I just think it's not very. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, of course. It's not just that. This is back to the making sure that I get a value that's in the right range. So I think it would be this. Basically. Hey, thanks for the follow, Sean the Best. Appreciate it. So this should get, and then actually that's not correct, and I need to do the, yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to do what I was doing over here. The sample will be equal to this. And then scaling it into there. So this is basically 0 to 1. This is -1 to 1. Let's see what we get now. Those pops is because it's going to 0. I do need to change that. Okay. Let me just put a little breakpoint in here. Oh, so there's really quite a lot of time where it's not producing sound. That's interesting. But that's all right. Okay, so now we're going to start getting values in here, like 48, 160, 48. Huh. Okay, so cycles is 4. Oh, that's kind of surprising. This normally would have returned false during this time. Noise. So tone is enabled on the first. Yeah, I know. I'm wondering about that, Pyro. Like, do I want to add them and just divide by 2? Like, do I just want to average the 2 values? Is that maybe? Interesting. I would have thought that I thought when I was debugging this last time that the PSG was returning false for whether it was producing sound. I guess that is not the case. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go with sampling both then. Forget that. We'll just do this. And we'll say oh crap. I think we got it. Hey, look, that guarded me a follow. Thanks, Commander Root. Appreciate it. Man, that's pretty cool. That actually freaking worked. You know, I don't understand this game either, to be honest. Basically, I think you're supposed to collect this key, but for some reason you fall, and I haven't figured that out. One of the buttons gets you to move this ladder, and then I don't understand why I fall. Like, why do I fall? Yeah, darn it, exactly. And you gotta jump through that door. And then on the next... And then you're... now you've got these baddies, right? And you're supposed to kind of try to avoid them. Oh, and look, the key... and there's like a bow tie. And you get killed. Oh yeah, you can attack with your feet. Because, you know, feet are dangerous. Whoa. Oh, I made it. Like, I don't know if there's like a reason why I can't see where I'm supposed to not go. Oops. Anyway, I don't quite get it, but it looks like it's working. So actually, as a point of comparison, I did find a video that was pretty clean, because this is actually a video that's showing off this mod to the Vectrex where this person added like an audio jack, so you can actually hear the sound, not just out of the speakers. So let's see if we... That sounds pretty close, right? We'll try and listen to them in fact, I should just record it. So that's coming out of my emulator, and let's see here. I think I can do, yeah, I think this would record it from YouTube here. Oops. Stop. Okay. So this would be the source, the real thing. I think I need to amplify it a bit though, because it's kind of... But anyways, this should give us an idea of what it's supposed to sound like. Oh, are there? Hey, look at that. You're 100% right. I wasn't even paying attention. You were like actually looking at the video. You know, I think that might help me understand how to play this game. Yes, there are gaps. Ah, and you know what? I have a feeling I know what this comes from. Thanks, Pyro. I was like not even paying attention to the video, just the audio. But yeah, it's right there. Let me make a note of this, because I think I know what's going on there. Bring up my to-do here. I'll put it here. Fix spike platforms. We can't see the gaps in the platforms. Okay. So yeah, back to the recording. How was this? Okay, let's delete all this. And if I import, I just give it a name, and I'll say yeah, it's interesting to note the shape. Anyway, let's kind of listen to it. I just want to see if it sounds pretty similar. So this is the original. Kind of hard to tell, but let me see here if I can amplify the top one just a little bit. Let's say 5. Okay. So this, at least we can see the length is similar. So at least the timing is correct. Here, let's play both. I'm just curious what that sounds like. Sounds pretty good? Well, what do you think? The whole thing seems shifted. Like that's one thing that I was experimenting with. You can see like some weird scalings at some place here where I was adding 24 and dividing by 72. But basically this shift by 24, I think will center everything. Because I think here this is actually an offset of 24. But see, like it's completely random, and I don't think I'll bother there. But I believe if I put plus 24, we're gonna see the whole thing shift up and be more centered. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. It sounds pretty good. I think I saw that I might have another game with digitized speech. There weren't many. In fact, I don't know if there were any other commercial games that had digitized speech on the Vectrex. But I think there was a homebrew game that had some. I think it's all these spike ones, like spike hopping here. Let me try this. So this is a homebrew game by John Donzilla. I think it just said spike hopping. Oh, is this like a Qbert? He must hop on each block once. Oh, okay. That was pretty awful. I don't know if it's like super loud for you guys, but okay, there's definitely something going on there. Let me see what it looks like in here. It's not too loud for you? Okay. So that awful sound did not destroy your ears. See, look at this. Oh, whoops. Interesting how high it is. I think what I'm noticing here is, because I'm doing this add and divide by 2, I think that once this is finished, it's like if the last value that was left in there is like a 1, then we end up having shifted everything up. If he's not writing a 0 back. You know what I mean? Because I know in Spike, I know that it ends with zeros, or with a final 0. So that kind of like clears the value. But see, that's the thing. I don't know, like in this case, it looks like that's not what happened. You see? Probably ended without a 0 value. Yeah, I need, I think what I need to do, I don't know if it's correct to say like, every time we go and we write to the DAC, what happens right now is whenever we write to the DAC, I call this function. Maybe what we should do is we should always clear, and then if we come back in here, we get the value, which is sort of what I was trying to do up here, you know? I think that's what this is, what you're asking. Yeah, so that, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying now. I think what you're saying seems to go with what I'm thinking. Okay, this is actually the other game. So let me try the other one. Ah. Why can't I play this game? There's some pretty awful sounds going on in there. But I don't know how much of it is me, or, I mean, I'm gonna assume it's me because I don't know. But who knows? These are homebrew, right? So I'm not quite sure. I'd have to try it on the real thing, or maybe try it on another emulator. Okay, so this looks a lot cleaner. This is what brings it back to what I expect. What's going on in here? It's awful. Yeah, that's the tough part. I don't actually have these games and I can't try them on real hardware, right? So let's try the other Spike one. I wonder if this one here, or maybe these like later versions, maybe he like played around with the audio. Okay, nope. Spike Goes Skiing 1998. Let's try that. Okay, no digitized speech on this one. It's like a slalom game. It's kind of cute. Spike. This Spike's water balloons analog. This John Donzillo was like some prolific demo writer for the Vectrex. No speech? Ah, that's too bad. Oh, it's analog. Okay, I understand. Oh no, it's too bad they don't speak. Spike's Slam Pit demo. Should look for if there's a list of digitized speech games for the Vectrex. I really don't know. Okay, these are all clearly just demos. Okay, so I guess he was just working on it. Let me see. It's gonna be hard to find. Looks like Berserk has speech. Really? Chicken, fight like a robot. Does it? Where did you find that? Does it say when that happens? Yeah, let's see here. Oh, it's a hack. Berserk, because actually I think the one for Vectrex doesn't.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
Okay, I want this one. I don't think I have this ROM. Thanks to Para JVM, I came across this little known hack for Berserk called Berserk. Okay, I don't think I've seen it in my list. Oh look, I have it. Okay, looks like I have everything. I downloaded this pack of ROMs at one point. Hey, it's not rendering that cool effect. Does it speak otherwise? Maybe I have to die. Oh, that's sad. It's too bad it looks like the intro demo isn't working. I wonder why. Doing some funky graphics routines that I don't support somehow. So actually, you know what? It's possible that, okay, so there are actually two ways to do digitized a vec voice. What's a vec voice? So I was reading that there are actually two different ways to get digitized speech through the Vectrex. If the player had a vec voice. Oh, okay. Vec voice. Oh, that's from the link. It's a thing you plug into the second control port. These enabled the Vectrex to use speech, which would be used by several homebrews, including Yassi and Space Frenzy, among several others. The Vec voice is the original model, whereas the Vec Vox replaced it when a part for it became obsolete. And the Atari Vox Plus also worked with Atari 2600. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I saw it before. Okay, so I mean, anyways, I'm not emulating this. We could. Not sure I want to spend time on that right now, but yeah, I wonder if there are games that don't use the Vec voice and that have digitized speech. But anyway, like right now, I'm pretty happy with what we got. I'm gonna clean up the code a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna simplify this a bit. Okay, and then the target sample gets added this way. I don't know if I want to do this way. Maybe it's okay. revert to how I used to have it. Yeah, so one thing I'm not doing anymore is I'm not averaging the more samples that I was getting in the source, and I wonder if there's a difference in quality. So far I haven't heard it, but we could do a little test for that, because I'm very curious about that. Okay, let's say I put these back. I'm gonna do a little test. We're gonna do that. Basically, we'll always say we did this. Then this wouldn't be constant anymore. Yeah, it's just for testing purposes. Let's use the dreaded mutable. And we'll do technically it'll always be integral here. Yeah, this is totally a hack, because I would never want to change state on a function like this. But anyway, I just want to test. Okay. Or maybe I could do, instead of sample sum, no, it's okay. And then what I want to try here is where am I here? Clock, frame update. Okay. Okay, just add a little checkbox for me to toggle it, and we'll see if this makes any difference. Like dynamically, you know? I don't think we're gonna hear it in a game like this. Let me try scramble, because that has a more constant and annoying sound that plays. Running low on frames there. Hold on. Let me make it smaller. Frame rate is tanking here. Whoa, what is that awful sound? Oh, that's interesting. There's some kind of high frequency that's coming in when we don't do the multi-sampling. Because that's the thing, right? Like when I'm doing, what I'm doing is I'm averaging, which is a form of applying a low pass filter to the source samples. Now, either I actually need to do it, or there's something else going on. Because you can even hear it now. There's kind of like this hum, you know? But it's much lower, yeah. Which I wonder is if it's because we're, you know, mostly filtering it out by basically averaging the values, you know? So that's my question. Is this expected? Because that's the thing, right? Like the source sample rate is higher than the target sample rate for the PSG. And so if we're basically sampling it at 44.1 instead of the rate that it normally runs at, which is, what is it again? 1.5 megahertz divided by 16. Or basically 1500 kilohertz, I should say, divided by 16. So is that 8.7 kilohertz? Am I doing that right? Yeah, I think so. About. It's not quite correct, but... Oh no, I think that's it. It's 93.7 kilohertz. So let's say that's definitely... it's more than 2 times the speed of the output sampling rate at 44.1. So we are I guess not, if we're just sampling it at 44.1, we're not getting, we are going to basically hear the high frequencies. We're not actually sampling it fast enough. And so we need to apply some kind of low pass filter. And the averaging is like the most basic one. And I'll be honest, I'm talking a little bit out of my ass here because I really don't know that much about signal processing and audio. This is just like kind of stuff I've read. So if I'm saying something really dumb, you know, correct me. It's weird, you know, I'm looking at OBS here and it looks like, again, this is what happened last time. My video preview looks jammed, but apparently it didn't actually jam in reality. Pyro, are you able to still see me? Is everything working on your end? Like, is there still video capture? I don't know why this happens. Yeah, everything's okay. Yeah, it's weird. Like, you're here, you can see my the preview here is kind of stuck. If I refresh this page. Oh, okay. Now it's back. I lose my chat history though when I do that. But it's all right. All right, so basically I'm gonna say, since I know that it sounds better with it, I'm gonna try and keep it. I'm thinking I can write this differently though. Yeah. You know what? I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. It won't be long. All right, sorry about that. A sort of averaging of samples, but each sample, depending on how they are, receive a specific multiplication factor. Is it like a sliding, like a moving average kind of thing? So I think how I'm going to do this right now, for lack of a better way, is just going to be like just going to constantly do this. Oh no, but then I need to reset it. Ah, this is so disgusting. Yes, you could say that. Okay. How do I do this? Maybe, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I will make sample a non-const function. Does that make sense? It doesn't make that much sense. Like programming problems. I don't like that it has a side effect. But I don't know how to, like, unless I do like I need to like tell it, you got to clear your internal, you know, sampling state, which I hate. And I would like to hide all of this kind of detail. I don't know what to do. Kind of sucks. I was hoping that what we would find is that we don't need to do this kind of thing, and that like we could just get away with the sampling once, like it worked in Spike. I do wonder what's going on with Scramble. What did I just do? Let me, I feel like just getting a capture and just seeing if I see anything weird going on in Scramble. Like I really do wonder, is it really the source signal that's like that? this is the quieter spot. So yeah, I mean, you can see that when we sample at 44.1, we get these samples that have a much wider spread, you know, higher, lower and higher amplitudes. Whereas once we go into the more averaged versions, the amplitude definitely decreases. But it's still there, you know. I wonder if, like, I mean, it could be like that I have a bug, you know, in the generation or something, or maybe that's noise we're hearing. What I would need, okay, let's try exposing some checkboxes to control whether we hear noise and tone on each channel. That might help us to understand, and it could just be generally useful. Although, it's thinking I want to kind of get this checked in, and I want to commit these changes before I start doing stuff like that, you know. Okay. I'm just going to leave this in here for now, and we will worry about cleaning that up afterwards. Let me look over my diffs here. Definitely have quite a few. I can get rid of this. Oh yeah, kind of like the one was just called samples here. All right, so go back here, take a look at my diffs. Oh yeah, console output. Guess that was sort of useful, wasn't it? Seeing which ones got written to. This was useless. But even so, I don't think I'm going to grab these changes from up there. Take everything. Yes, this was just for console output. PSG. Okay, I'll keep that. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Oh, I think I know what happened. Always reset unless written to. Yes. Yes. This to do has been done. Okay. So this is the crux of the change on the PSG. We update this guy, no longer passing the context. We do our thing here, add samples, the reset the value right here. So that's it. So I'm going to remove that and stage this guy, and optional is not necessary. Okay. There's actually something you can do. So what I've done is I've selectively changed parts of my changes. PSG actually has more changes in it, but I don't want this. And there's a thing you can do in Git. Oh, wait a minute, this looks wrong. Yeah, that looks wrong. Yeah, that's it. Or not. No, yeah, that's correct. Okay, it added this here. Yeah. Let me see. Does this make sense? Enum, num. This is here. It does not look right. It's the only thing you have to be really careful when you're selectively doing this kind of thing. Super weird. How does that end up in there? It's because I had reset that change. Okay. I'm going to redo this. It's like not super interesting to watch me do my Git stuff, but it is part of the deal. Okay, I think that's right. That's still here. Okay, wait, I think I know what's going on. PSG. What the hell is not working? Okay, yeah, because I messed this up. Okay, something's funky is going on. I think my keyboard. I think my control keys stopped working. Yeah, or something. Okay, there we go. I had to replug my keyboard. All right. And that weird feeling when your shortcuts that have been burned into your brain and you don't even know if you think too much about it, they don't work. When they stop working, it's super weird. It's like when you stop and you look at a word you've written and you start staring at the spelling and you're like, that can't be right, but it is right. Because then the more you think about it, the more wrong it looks. It's a little bit like that when your keyboard binding stop working. You start thinking about the binding, like, is it Shift Alt P? You have this muscle memory, but when you start thinking about it, it doesn't seem right anymore. Okay, so what I wanted to do Okay, there it is. So I want everything up to, but not including this last bit. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let me just, oh yeah, I wanted to say there's a feature in Git where for stashing, you can say keep my index. And what's interesting about that is that basically it says, I want to stash all the changes that are not on my index, that have not been staged. So if let's say I do this, right? Save changes to stash. What that does is it keeps only those local diffs in the stash. And then locally, I'm left with just my changes. You see my psg.cpp changes that were here are gone, and I'm left with just the ones I'm going to commit. And this gives me a chance. That happens to you a lot, the spelling thing, or like just when you start focusing on something and it doesn't make sense. Anyway, this allows me to like build my code without those changes that I'm about to commit, just to make sure that I'm actually right. And I do that sometimes when I'm doing this kind of careful, selective staging of I think they're called hunks, right? And yeah, you see this worked. And I just want to really make sure I'm not committing something that'll break the build or whatever. Not super important for me locally here, but like in a work environment where you are about to commit something and you have local changes you want to keep, this is a way to like ensure that what you're about to commit really is going to work. Yeah, my frame rate just tanked there. But it's working. Okay. So what will I say here? I guess I'll say implement I'll say digitized voice support direct audio samples sent from CPU to I'll just say to speakers. Okay. And then, like at that point, you can say, pop my stash and bring back that change I had. And apparently I have conflicts. What conflicts? Anyway, whatever. No, that's fine. And now I'm back to having just those diffs back. So yeah, really neat feature in Git. I actually love this feature, and I wish other source control systems had it. You can kind of emulate it, and like we use Perforce at work, and in Perforce the way you can kind of get around it is you can do the same kind of thing where you stashed your whole change. They call it shelving. So you shelve your whole change, but you don't revert. You just shelve everything, and then you selectively revert the parts you don't want to keep, make sure it builds, submit that, and then you unshelve and resolve. So it's similar, but not quite the same. Okay, so we were saying, let's see if we can add some debugging functionality that allows us to toggle on and off parts of the chips here. I'm thinking, how difficult will that actually be in the PSG? Don't worry, Pyro. Most people have that kind of you know, most people get away with that, right? That's how most people use Git and other SCMs. But you know, if you work with it enough, I think it's really worth like learning a little bit more, because it really opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of like the kind of thing you can do. You know what I mean? It's, for me, it's like once I discovered the things I could do with Git, all the advanced branching workflows and yeah, all these things with like I was saying, with the stage and the stash and all that, it's like now I feel more free to make changes that I would otherwise be more careful in the past, you know? I can experiment more. I can feel more confident in the fact that the changes that are going to go in are fine. So yeah, I do, you know, rewriting history and stuff like that. Cherry picking lines of code from different commits. Things like that are just really useful. It's a kind of a freedom for me. And it's hard to describe, you know, like I don't want to spend too much time on that or kind of sound like a Git fanboy. Git's not perfect. The CLI is definitely not easy to use, which is why I use Git extensions, actually. I can actually do most of what I do here at the command line, but you know, sometimes you forget like the exact names of parameters, and I find myself just Googling them. In the end, Git extensions gives me a UI wrapper around all those commands, and I don't really have to think too much about it, you know. Plus, it gives me a nice view of the graph, which here doesn't really make much of a difference. But where I'm working at work, I'm always looking at the graph, and it does really help a lot. So anyway, okay. So what I'm gonna do is hate these functions I wrote. Oh, yeah. Damn, mixer control register. Actually, it's always the same. Why am I doing this way? Anyways. Yeah, why am I doing this? Okay. Oh, hey, Moosey boy. Oh, okay. You want to hear? All right, all right. Let me make you hear since you're about to go to bed, and let's get this going for you. This should build and run in its current state. Or not. Oh, it's a warning. Okay. Should be noise channel. All right. And there you have it. Let's hear that intro again because it's just so epic. I noticed my frame rate really drops though, during that part. Makes me feel like I'm doing something stupid. I don't even understand why. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, my frame rate drops so much during that part. I wonder if there's, you know what I think? Oh, I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason yeah, like 9 FPS. So that's funny, Moosey boy. Option, let me see something. Option errors log, because I think it's right now just ignoring errors. Usually when my frame rate drops, it's because there's like the emulator is emitting a bunch of exceptions for, you know, weird things. So I'm wondering if that's what's happening in that phase. And if that's the case, I don't really care, because I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna make what, like when the emulator is let's say near 1.0 or whatever, I'm gonna be like changing my code so that all this debugger stuff and the exception stuff is effectively disabled so they can run as fast as possible. No, not getting any logs there. Interesting. But yeah, it's super weird. Like, but you know, even now, look, it's hard. You know, when I'm on stream, it's very possible that I'm just, yeah, I'm very low on CPU resources. Man, really low. So I don't know. I would need to profile it. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now, but it's something I'm going to look at maybe off stream when my machine isn't bogged down by OBS and Chrome. And when I say Chrome, it's because Chrome is running a whole bunch of processes here, especially just for Twitch, for my dashboard. And I really need to upgrade my machine, in case you haven't noticed. Yes, Moosey. Was it you, Moosey Boy, who had recommended I do this last time? Enable low latency streaming. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did it right after the stream. So, is the quality okay for you guys? Like, you're not getting any drops in quality or anything? Anyway, so I don't want to keep you on. I know you got to go. So, yeah, thanks for checking in, man. All right, cool. Thanks. Well, have a good night. Later, man. Yeah, I'm just thinking about whether I want this to be... All right, I'll just leave it like this for now. I hate this code. I hate this function. I hate the whole thing with the index and this whole thing I did here. It's painful. Whatever. Can I do it this way? All right, whatever. I'll refactor this code at some point. For now, though, by having these functions here, I should be able to now easily be able to toggle on or off the channels, as I was saying before. You know what? I have a better idea. I know this is super annoying, but here's what I'm going to do. Let's go up here. Right. Yeah, these are actually bit masks. Having a bit of a brain fart here. How do I do this again? I want to basically turn these masks into indices. It's basically 2 to the power of the value there. Sorry, my brain is like a bit fried right now. What does I want to do again? See, when your brain stops working, it's usually a good time to go to bed. I don't know, man. I'm just like tired here. You know when you have like these here are basically bit patterns, right? So this is like, and this has a bit. It looks like, you know. You know, like this, right? It's just these simple masks. And I'm just like, how do you go back from this into an index? Like I want this to be 0, and this to be 1, and this to be 2. Do I actually like need to count the amount of shifts it takes to bring until it becomes 1? Something like that. Or is it like I'm forgetting some clever trick or something, or not that clever and I'm just stupid right now? Like basically this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 4, right? Okay, so I feel a little bit better if you don't know, because I don't know. Count leading zeros intrinsic. There is an intrinsic for that. And hello, moo balls. pretty sure there is. I mean, I could always write a const expr function, I guess. You know, like let's see. Let's have some fun. Is it counting leading zeros that I want? It is, isn't it? Oh, and MooBalls has given me the you could do log of decimal over log of 2. That's true. But you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let's say while the value and 1 is 0, so presumably I could actually do this at compile time. And we could say of the reg oh yes, love that warning. Warning, precedence is stupid. Okay, so that actually compiled now. I don't know if it actually works, but one thing we could do to check is we could do this. Let me just see if this compiles. Sure. Size t. Okay, so it's cool. It is being invoked at compile time. And zero u I64. So that's 0. That's good. So if we put tone B, we get 1. We get 2. Tone D. Whoops. noise A. We get 3, 4, and 5. It's cool that Visual Studio's IntelliSense actually computes and shows us the value. All right, so that's cool. This should probably be size T. And I can say all right, Pyro. Take it easy, man. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm thinking I shouldn't call this enabled, because whether it's enabled or not really has to do with the value in the register. This is more of a I don't know what to call it. Something like that. Okay, so now in the frame update, let's do keep it simple. Mixer control. Let's see. That is true. That's not what I wanted. It's this. What's going on? I have an infinite loop on channel to index. Oh no, okay, it was supposed to be type here. Right? Yes. Okay. And I'm not able to turn these off. What's the dealio here? 6 of those. Oh, no, that's... no, that doesn't make any sense, what I just did there. Oh, that's fine. Unless... That's the channel. Sorry, I want to see what you said there. Actually, I forgot you probably never want to use LZCNT because some Intel CPUs replace it with bit scan reverse. Oh. That's good to know. And so is like bit scan reverse something you don't want to use because it's slow? Starting to get tired. Just not the same operation. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I see. The names were not unique. I think that's why. I think that the names that you feed have to be unique for InGUI. I think. See? Yeah, there you go. They all had the value 1, so they were aliasing each other. Okay, so let's check out Scramble, because that's actually the one I was interested in. One thing about the frame rate, actually, you know what? Let me just try something. I know that I have been disabling optimizations on a lot of this stuff in order to debug it, and I actually wonder now if I'm paying the price. Look, for example, here, in optimization. See, I have disabled it on quite a few things. It's supposed to be maximum, so let me just try putting it back. I think it was only the sound stuff. So SDL audio driver, that's annoying. Or I should just put like inherit. Yeah. I could also just regen my solution here. PSG. Okay, let's try that. Curious if this will make a difference. It's possible because my debug build doesn't even run. How slow it is. Yeah, there you go. We got a much better performance there. I actually think it was specifically the inline disabling that I did. But anyways. Okay, so here, let's try removing noise. Okay, no. So let's see, that's interesting. So the two tone channels here are producing that value. Tone channel 0 and tone channel 1. I think it might actually be initial state. If I fire, let's see if I fire if it does the same thing. Ah, see? Oh, it actually depends. You see, when I fire, it goes away, but sometimes it comes back. So that makes me think that maybe what's happening is when maybe it has to do with the envelope. Like maybe when the sound gets faded out, it's supposed to like disable the channel, and in that, when it disables it, it should reset its value to 0. Yeah, maybe that's what it's got to do. That's very possible. I have a feeling that how would I do that? Is it that? Thing is, if the channel volume were 0, it would already return no sound. Let me try this again. Let's turn off everything except for tone channel 0. That sounds so funny without all the other channels there. This time it's not actually stopping. Okay. And now I'm not getting any debugging symbols. So if we just disable again here, only on the PSG, and I need to say don't inline here as well. What do I? Yeah, let's disable it. Let's see, index 0, our volume is 0.5. So that means that we are about half volume here. So let's see, what can we see about our tone generators? Okay, period is 0, so I think that's the hint right there. Let me see here. Sorry, little Pampu. I don't think I'm just gonna open up websites just for kicks. I mean, what is this website about? Any relation to the work I'm doing? Or maybe I should just always reset the value here. It's a roulette site. You mean like gambling? Why do you want me to look at it? You're hoping I can help you figure it out? Like what's going on? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't think I can do that. First of all, I'm assuming it's probably written in JavaScript. Okay, that's not helping. I was hoping that this would do the trick. Hey, no problem, man. Good luck. Tone is enabled. It gets 0, which returns 0.5. So it's still enabled, but once again, it should get 0 here. Oh, see, it does oscillate. Okay. So this is the problem. And the problem is that the period got set to a value of 1. I guess that's the minimum period. And I guess we don't want it oscillating when that's the case. Does that make sense? Why would the period be set to 1 in that case? What would that even mean? That's basically going to produce like the highest frequency value, right? Like every single clock, it's going to go from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0 over and over and over. I mean, I could try like something that doesn't make much sense to me, but no, it doesn't make sense. All right, let's just for kicks say if period is greater than 1. I just want to see. I don't get it, but just want to see if that eliminates the problem. But it certainly feels like a hack. I can't really reason about that, because I can validate that that is exactly what Scramble is trying to do. Certainly seems to have gotten rid of that high screech. Okay. Can I make sense of this? Let me go back to the doc. Where is my? That was here. The lowest period, okay. Oh yeah, right. So the minimum value for the tone period is 1. Right, so I guess when you set it to 1, you expect it to hold its value. So maybe it's not really the timer that should be doing this, but rather, because the timer doesn't care, maybe it is really at the tone generator level where we have to say, like, if my, see here, if my period here, my period is greater than 1. So we'll say, like, a period of 1 means we're not enabled. That's the min value. We just want to hold our value. Otherwise, we want to keep doing this timer clock thing. I think that makes some sense. And I suppose the noise generator would have to work the same way based on what we've read. I don't remember if I keep the period here. What about envelope? Same thing? Yeah, same thing. it's easier to say it this way. Part of me is wondering if I should just put it back in the timer. Certainly made the code a bit simpler. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but man, it is so slow when I disable optimizations. And I wonder if it's really the inlining, because I think it is, because I believe that all this code here gets inlined and optimized. We'll see right now. It's interesting. I'd have to like look at the disassembly to really see why, but that's part of it. Try scramble. So this is kind of good news because it means that I don't need to keep the multi-sample code here. Seems to like make no difference now. Yeah, makes really no difference. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Mooballs. If it's not inlining, I guess, yeah. Is that true? Like if the compiler can't inline the code, it won't be able to vectorize the code? Like wouldn't it try to vectorize in the function itself, regardless of inlining? Or maybe it's just that by not inlining, it can't take advantage of the larger scope of the code, if that's what you mean. Because it's like kind of has to do the whole function call overhead thing, you know? Okay, well, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. And I think I'm going to leave the period checks inside each generator because that kind of maps more to what's being said in the documentation about the tone period having a lowest, like each period having the lowest value of 1 because it's a divide by 1 in terms of frequency. I think that would make some sense. So in that case, let me see here. Yeah, so that would be basically the fix here. I do wonder actually if I would need to have something similar though, in terms of setting the period, always doing a reset. And really update timer should not put the place. Oh yeah, it's because I do this here, update timer. Yeah, don't label it like that. Let me see. What did I do here? Maybe the noise generator shouldn't be modified. Although, oh no, maybe it should. And then the envelope generator, it's the same kind of thing with the update timer. Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll just rename this to see, now I feel less bad about putting the reset in there. That's because I don't store this one. Maybe I should store it. Or just leave it like this. I'll say fix generators not disabling, or make fix it not disabling when period set to 1 in value. Maybe disabling is not the right word. Not effectively disabling. For all three generators, minimum period value is 1, which means it should return its value at the highest frequency. And make sure to reset value to 0 on setting period, and make sure not to and fix the fact that it was oscillating every clock. Oscillating every clock. Which produced high-pitched noise sound in games like Scramble. Okay. I'm avoiding committing the debug stuff I've written in here because I still want to think a little bit about this code, but right now we have, or not. What happened here? Oh, I thought I, let us fix that, amend. So let's do some tests, make sure audio works in different games, and then I'll likely call it a night. It's getting late. So let me just minimize this. Oh yeah, and I wanted to remove the multi-sample code. Actually, before I do that, let's do this, because I hate that code. So multi-sample. Mooballs, no function calls. The two major exceptions are for intrinsic math functions and for functions that may be inlined. Oh, really? Function that may be inlined. Like that it would avoid vectorizing a function that may be inlined, meaning it's marked as inlineable but it doesn't get inlined. It's because of the fact that it might not be inlined, they can't do any optimizations. In this case, if they do get inlined, you're saying that that might lead to vectorization, no? Because these are not, you know, I haven't marked them inline or anything, but I guess they're candidates for it. I don't know. I don't quite understand what that means. Oh, function calls. Oh, so okay, I understand. It's the other way around. Okay. Right. It's the exceptions. Yes. Okay. I see. Yeah. And I got mixed up. I see what you mean. It won't vectorize a function call, but it will make an exception for functions that may be inlined. So if it does get inlined, then it will vectorize. That's what you were saying. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's try ripoff. When you hear weird things, because I'm fast forwarding. In this game, you have to protect your coveted triangles. Your rotation speed is very slow, and so is your acceleration. So you have to kind of like, and the enemies get faster and faster. And you can kind of kamikaze yourself, that kind of take advantage of that. It's an interesting game. And you can bounce off the walls at very strange and unexpected angles. It seems like what it does is as soon as you hit the wall, it just kind of turns you in that direction. You know, no matter what angle you're coming, you don't bounce at the inclination angle. Like if I go this way, see, I mostly follow the wall. Okay, so this works. Let's try. We'll try Berserk. So cool to have sound. I must say, it really sounds really good. Oh, got shot. Okay, so that's Berserk. Let's try Armor Attack. This is a cool game. Little tank game. Thanks, Mooball. Yeah, I think this last fix really helped because it removed, there were these high-pitched noise and frequencies in there that I would hear sometimes. Now it sounds a lot cleaner. Like, this one still has like a weird sound, but I actually think this is part of the game. It's really weird. The helicopter. Yeah, I think the tanks make a strange sound. See that? That sound they're making there? I'd have to play the game to know for sure. Okay, that's good enough. Clean sweep. That's whenever you grow. After you eat like, I don't know, like 5 pellets, you get a little bit bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, on 7 pellets, you get bigger. And when you get bigger, you also get slower. Because you're like a vacuum cleaner. And you're picking up this dirt. And you actually have to empty your bag in here. And the more full you are, the more points you get when you go empty your bag in there. I think it's an interesting, you know, version of Pac-Man. Here, you definitely have a lot of sound going on in this game. Okay, it's a good time to eat. Ooh, close. I guess you can't see that I'm on my controller here. Alright, let's try Bedlam. Bedlam's a cool game. I like this game. I like games that like try to make use of the Vectrex, the vector display. This one here does a pretty cool job. Ooh. That's a lot of places for these guys to come out from. Oh, now it's getting smaller. So basically, if when it gets smaller, you can make it bigger again by shooting in the corners. Man, this is nerve-wracking. Oh, did I just get a life? Or something? Oh shit, what's that? Nope! Okay. Alright, pretty cool, pretty cool. Does it shrink each time they spawn? I think it's like on a timer or something. I don't know. I don't know when it shrinks. Damn, it's hard. So what's interesting about this game, so one thing I love about the Vectrex is because you have an overlay, you can figure out the controls just by like reading the bottom here. So it says basically like one of the buttons is for fast rotate. So that's one of the buttons here. I hold it down and I can rotate fast. Actually, I guess two of the buttons are for that, 1 and 3. Then you got the zap button. That's the zap is this effect, and I only have to say 2 left here. That's that like big effect that kills everyone. It's like an area of effect, just destroy everyone around me. So that's your Hail Mary move, and then you have the fire button. So basically, you have to kind of like manage the hold to turn fast, but then let go so that you can turn slowly and micro adjust yourself to actually aim correctly, fire, and then make sure you hit the zap if you're almost dead. So it's pretty hectic. Really quite a fun game. Dark Tower is a bit of a weird game. I think I'm gonna skip that one. Fortress of Narzad is also kind of an interesting game. Another one that kind of like takes advantage of the Vectrex to give a pseudo 3D perspective. And in this one, when you fire, you'll notice that the bullets bounce off the walls, and you have to be careful because they can bounce back and kill you. Your own bullets here. You see? It came back, and it would have killed me. It's like as if all the walls are bouncy mirror-like walls or something. See, I just killed myself. Oh, and you can advance quite far forward, but you don't really want to do that. Whoops. So I can go here. And when you actually finish a round, you actually move to the... Okay, can I at least finish a round here? You can move to the next gate. Really tough game. At least I haven't figured it out. Yeah, or maybe I just suck. Okay, I just want to finish at least one level. Okay. No? Oh, come on, come on. Ah, you may pass. And then here, you move up into the gate. And then you go to the next area. Oh yeah, and these birds, they block your path. Isn't that fun? So pretty cool, right? I mean, really inventive games for like 1982. It always freaks me out how cool these games were for the time. Hyperchase is pretty cool, racing game. But actually, is it Hyperchase? There's another one that's even better than this one. Yeah, I think this is not the best one. Yeah, this one's okay. But the really good one is, what's it called again? It's like a port of a racing game from the arcade. Pole Position, that's it. This one's cool. I like this this version. See, Namco. Holy crap, this game is hard. Second gear. Anyway. Pretty cool, right? I think this one has one of the best looking art of the games. Yeah, it's really quite impressive. I totally agree. What else is cool? Like, okay, so I'll show you the game that I think is a bit weird, but it also has pretty decent art. This is actually a game that it's an official title that didn't get released. Is it this one? Dark Tower? Yeah. $1983. See, so you have like, I haven't figured this game out. So it says your score is 0. My inventory says 5 reserve troops, so that's my lives, and 2 bags of gold. And basically, you can kind of move around like this. Then you can open, how do you do this again? Okay, so there's like nothing in there. And at the top here, it says like your cardinal direction and like how many steps in that direction you've been stepping. And I haven't understood this game yet. See, like now I just got teleported with this interesting effect. Oh, actually I died. So now I have 4 reserve troops. Oh, and there's this thing here. And I wonder if it's, I don't understand this game because maybe it wasn't finished. 3 bags of gold. Okay, so now I like reached the edge of the map and I just got teleported. I don't know if this is like a new area or what. Okay, there's a bag. So I just picked that up. Now I have like 6 bags of gold. Like, I don't know what the purpose of this game is. There's no score, so most games had scores. Like, is this actually a real adventure? And is there an ending, you know? I don't know. For sure, like, you know, this is the kind of game, like, when I was a kid, if I had had this game, it'd be one of those weird, mysterious games that I just spent hours trying to figure out. I just died again. But you know, like now, weird games like this, I don't know. I guess you could say my bags of gold is a score, but I don't know. Seems kind of awkward. Did I just get 2 new warriors? I found warriors in a box. Yeah, I saw something here. What I want to show you guys is that there's this thing where sometimes you end up in this room when you see these boxes where you have to fight this kind of weird demon dude. It's really strange, and like I almost never am able to beat it. I'm like not fast enough, and I get killed by the demon dude's bullets. Come on. Stop killing me, random boxes. This weird game. Oh, bag of gold. There's these weird trees. And now there's nothing. Oh, weird trees again. Thought there would be something there. This game, man, it's so weird. What am I supposed to do? Oh, pine trees. Oh. 3 reserved, 13 bags of gold. Oh, this is it. Okay, and I have to like ignore some, where is it? I get a couple of these asserts that I gotta implement this way to skip this. So this is where you'll see what I mean. This is like weird, oh, demon like cow dude or something, and I can go back in and skip this again. Okay. No, no, man, that was close. says you have to find some keys. Oh, you're reading about it? I wonder if like killing these dudes will help me find keys. To unlock the Dark Tower. Gotta fix this thing. And like it's like super weird how it just throws things. It doesn't throw where I am. It throws somewhere and I might run into it. Anyway. So that's one of those mysterious games. But I find it looks cool, you know, like in terms of Vectrex graphics, it's pretty advanced. But yeah. Then there are some games like Web Warp that also has this is another one that takes advantage of vector graphics pretty well. But I haven't figured out how to play this game. Like, I think it looks kind of cool, you know? Uh-oh, there's a big bat. It's pretty cool looking, right? So that's cool. Reminds me of Tempest. Right. Yeah, it's very possible. There's even this cute like cycling game called Tour de France, where you cycle. You actually, I don't think I'm very good at this game. I think you can just, yeah. Here, what's interesting about this game is you can see that they decided to use brightness. So you're always brighter than the world around you. So it kind of compensates for the fact that you can see the world through your character's vectors. And I think that's kind of an interesting solution to the problem, right? Because if they were all the same brightness aligns, it would be harder to see your cyclist above the background, if you will. You know what I mean? I think you can... I don't know what I just did there. Oh, you have like... Oh, okay. Oh, you have bike speeds. Oh man, that is fast. Yeah, it does give some depth too, although they don't like change the brightness with the depth, I think, right? Or do they? So you start at the third speed. Oh yeah, there's something about getting tired in this game. Like... See, like I'm not moving and it makes this weird sound, but then when I start cycling... I don't understand. It's like I'm tired. Oh look, I have a hand. So that's another game. And oh yeah, and one thing I guess I didn't do this on stream. I was trying there's all these audio ROMs that just kind of play music, and there are all these demos. What was it again? Like all of these by Chris Salomon. So this guy, I guess just to experiment with the audio chip, made a whole bunch of ROMs that just play music. Hey, thanks for the follow, Unseen NRG. So like, for example, here's Real Ghostbusters. Hey man, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Pretty cool, right? Of course, it's called Ghostbusters, but I think it's still pretty cool. What else does he have? He has like Bubble Bobble, Beverly Hills Cop. Let's see how that one sounds. Not supporting I/O ports on the PSG. Yeah, maybe I should remove that. I don't know why this is being written to. Let me just remove this. This comes back to the fact that I have this to do on my list to allow me to ignore asserts from my debugger, or I should maybe change these to be something else. Like, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, because I have right now in my error handler, I have undefined, and I think I'm going to add one called unsupported, and just put that, and this way it'll kind of fit in the same model. So actually what we were trying was, no, not that, Salomon. And it was, let's see if we actually hear something. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool to hear. Like, I guess this guy was really trying to see how far he could push the sound out of the Vectrex, because most games really didn't make use of the sound chip very well, as you guys could hear. These ones that say like Ghosts and Goblins, is this actually the music or just some sound effects? I'm wondering. Yeah, it's very low. I think it's just sound. It's not actually music. What else we got here? Madonna's Get Into the Groove. What is that? I don't know that song. Do I know that song? Oh, the Ghouls and Goals, yeah. Ghouls and Ghosts was a death sound? Yeah, it's possible. Oh yeah, I know the song. Well, I don't know who Chris Solomon is, but he did some cool stuff. Like, I wonder if he wrote, I wonder if he actually composed this, or if maybe he wrote like some kind of tool to convert like mods or I don't know what to MIDIs, you know, to the formats for Vectrex. It's very possible. Let's do Star Wars theme. And maybe I'll close on this one, guys, because it's getting kind of late. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. I should be back next week, usual time on Tuesday. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time.